Hi, chat. How you doing? All right, where are we starting with things? Coffee. Happy Wednesday to you as well, Will. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Hello out there to Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. That was the wrong button. Hey, JK.
Oh, and it's time to re-up.
Thank you for that resub, John. Let's get the Discord going. I gotta do my monthly project from last month here. I haven't gotten to my lemons yet. John, can I get your input? Should we be doing more sweet pepper, hot pepper, garlic, or onion in our pickle here on April? Like, the name of the project is pickled peppers, but right now it's leaning towards pickled onion. Sweet pepper, keeping it even. Thank you, John. Thank you for that raid, Buns. Welcome in, everyone. How we doing tonight, Buns? Hey, Minnesota Froggy. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully no more bum landlord. Tonight, we've got mac and cheese bowl. And 2 Hungry Man grilled beef patty dinners. Oh, they don't want to stand up anymore, and I don't need them to stand up. So we're going to do a kugel with the pasta, and the beef patties are going to turn into a cottage pie. Oops. We'll be right back, chat. I forgot to start my recording and back again. Thank you for joining me, everyone, tonight. Cheers to you. Thank you, Will. That's 800 since 2020. It's not my 800th stream. But I appreciate the hype. What do we start with this tonight? Do we start with the kugel? I think we should start with dessert first. But I'm sort of doubting that this is defrosted in time for this. Yeah, that's not looking too defrosted. So we'll let that warm up a bit more, I think. Yeah. I need to get this so that it's at least separatable. I might have to hit it up with the microwave. Kugel. It is essentially like a bread pudding, but with pasta instead of bread pudding. And the much more classic looking style. This is the closest legacy to the original Swanson TV dinner here is the Hungry Man. It's was originally one of the Swanson labeled brands that they expanded into. But Swanson itself, as far as TV dinners, it legally exists, but it doesn't physically exist in stores. And so for this, we're going to separate this out a bit. We're going to keep the veggies as one part. Thank you for the follow. And I'm glad that the gravy is somewhat separate from the potatoes. It was going to be an issue if they put the gravy on the potatoes. But they put it with the meat, which is amazing. Now let's hope. Nope. I honestly do not go to either really one. Like, I'll do Stouffer's on occasion. But these are... I don't think I've ever had a Marie Callender's thing before. And it's been ages since I've done Hungry Man. I might have been like a kid. So keep the sauce separate here as much as possible. We're going to take our grilled, I guess this is our grill marks here, chat on our patties. They attempted. We're just going to give this a rough dice up. I doubt they have security. If they do, it's probably like remote, like someone watching 50 stores at once or something. But if they had security or someone watching the cameras in the place, oh hey. Oops, forgot to turn that on. if they had someone watching the cameras or something watching me today in the store, they must have been having a riot watch me, because I spent a good 10-15 minutes just sitting there staring at their TV dinner section of the freezer area. Like, several people came, analyzed things, picked out what they wanted, and left in the same time that I was sitting there just, like, looking at things. Mostly because I was looking for things that, like, I could have maybe found. I was looking for one of these that actually had the apples with it too, so that we had the, like, dessert part to it too. Which there were a couple that had that, but none of them were going to be meals that were going to work for other things. And for this, it still may be in there under other flavorings or something like that. But I was specifically looking for a cheese and pasta dish that didn't have garlic listed in its ingredients. Because garlic is sort of like the killer when it comes to dessert. You can make garlic desserts, but they sort of have to be, like, focused on being a garlic dessert. Well, let's see here. Uh-oh, quality control. Corn got into the potato. If he felt weird buying these, not really, because I went to a different store than normal to buy these. Not that it's a store that I don't shop from occasionally, but it's not one that I'm in. It's one that I visit, like, maybe once or twice a month. Not one that I'm in every week. I don't think I really know the checkout crew at any store, other than there's one dude that, like, seems to go out of his way to say hello to me every time. They may know me by... I have another way that they probably know me by. Let's just say that I hate the bag law. the bag law that I'm referring to is here in California. And so I guess several other states have now adopted this, or may have adopted it before California. But it's now where you used to go in the grocery store, they give you a bag and, no charge, no nothing. Now grocery stores charge 10 cents a bag in an effort to get people to use recyclable, reusable bags. I call it the travel and internet tax, or non-internet tax. You order something from Amazon and it comes delivered to your door in a box. You go to your local grocery store and you gotta pay for a 10-cent bag. And it's sort of annoying to me now that above and beyond that, like, I used to like getting paper bags and using paper bags and composting stuff that I got that wasn't necessary out of my streams and everything like that. But I'm not paying for them. This is the Wiggles tune. We're starting to loosen up a little bit over here, but it's probably going to be a good 30-40 minutes until that's usable the way I want it to be. I guess let's get into dinner then. I was just sort of separating this up so it would be nicely defrosted in the parts that I wanted, but I guess we can start making our cottage pie. Used to be your nut still. That's gonna be enough for tonight, so I'm gonna just use the 1/2 of this. Chat, I need to remember to buy gallon bags. I don't know, I think it's been almost a month now that I've been living without them. Not that I need a gallon bag for my onion, but I was reminded opening the drawer in the giant space there. Alright, so we got some onion chopped up. I'm going to do some pepper too. Just happen to have a couple of these. Yeah, it's been raining on and off here all day. I'm just rather frustrated today. Like, my yard is looking like a jungle again. I need to clean it up. But it keeps raining. Very happily live somewhere where snow is not an issue. I don't have to worry about my truck rusting out or... Okay, thank you, phone. Completely useless an alert there, by the way, too. I think that's enough pepper for this project. While that's heating, I'm gonna give this a brief nuke to loosen it up a little bit. I'm thinking, oh, Let's give that half a minute. We just need it loose enough that I can mix other stuff in there with it. Cooking oil in the pan. What do you think, chat? You like the new angle cam? Or prefer the... I was reading one of these, which I don't know if it was Marie Callender's. I'm going to have to pull this out of the trash now after thinking about this again. One of the ones that I read, not necessarily the one that I bought, had a royal list of ingredients that I was just like, how processed could this be? Ooh, it's got cellulose, chat. That one's not too bad. That one's pretty good, actually, as far as ingredients. Zoom right. It's cheese and pasta, right, chat? See our ingredient list on the grilled beef patty. Caramel color. They're using caramel color to imitate grill lines. I'd be honestly curious to know what percentage of that is actually beef. What TV dinner am I making? I'm not making a TV dinner. I am using TV dinners to make my dinner. So tonight I'm using Hungry Man grilled beef patty and Marie Callender's mac and cheese bowl to make dinner and dessert. So we're turning the mac and cheese bowl into a kugel, which is sort of like a baked pudding, like a rice pudding or a bread pudding, but it's done with pasta. And then the beef we're turning from grilled beef patties with veggies and mashed potatoes and gravy. Beer gravy, according to the packaging, too. Beer gravy. Turning that into a cottage pie. So we're making the base of stew of our cottage pie right now. I'm gonna finish in with the beef, and then I'm gonna thicken it, add the gravy in there, and add my own gravy hints to that. Thicken that up. And the last thing we'll do is these veggies are probably like 100% ready to go. They just need to be thrown in there and be warmed up. And so I'm going to go on to that premise and just throw them in at the very last second before I turn it into the whole thing. I don't know. I think don't go as extreme as some people really like. There's some people that have done some amazing things with MREs and stuff like that in the middle of nowhere, where that I'm in awe of. All right, so we got these nicely sauteed up. We'll add our beef back into that party to at least warm back up. Not worried about the little bit of jelly sauce that's there. For those new into chat tonight, this is what I do on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, we roll a new poll every week in the Discord. Chat chooses between two ingredients that they previously suggested in an earlier channel. And so every week I use a different ingredient to make dinner, so sweet and savory. Looking for things that are sort of hard to work with, not necessarily offensive. So things like this are amazing, you know, TV dinner. Like, how do you turn a TV dinner into dessert? Alright, we're going to add some flour to this party here. Let's add some butter too. Alright, flour for our gravy roux. Half cup of water. And take our gravy from our TV dinners and add that in here. Still frozen. Strangely enough, chat, both of these dinners are about the same amount of calories. The whole Hungry Man dinner here, the veggies, well, half of the veggies, half of the potatoes, and half of the meat that's in there, or the pasta bowl, about 500 calories. The Hungry Man's 530. And the mac and cheese is 500, so 30 calorie difference between a small little bowl of mac and cheese versus birthday cake. Yeah, I think we're there now. Okay, so I'm going to turn the heat down low on our stew over here and just allow this to stew a little bit. I'm going to pull mashed potatoes, veggies over here, and we're going to work on our dessert. So we're going to take some cream cheese. If it wants to come out of its packaging, which it's not happy about, and cutting board camera. This has been out since about 45 minutes before stream started. So it's nice and soft and softened up for cream cheese. Hey, Splits. Just a quick shout out there to all the sidewalks out there, you know, keeping me off the streets. YouTube dad joke. Egg. You think I go for 2 eggs with this, chat? I sort of feel like that's a 1 egg project. In second choice, or second question for chat, do I bake it in the same container it came in? Actually, that's another idea I could have used for dessert tonight. I could have maybe have gone rice pudding. Nope, can't say that I have, John. At least not that I know. I just want to make sure that this is all sort of broken up. Uh-oh. I've been clipped again. little vanilla. I feel like this needs a bit more sugar. It's probably already pretty sweet considering it's a manufacturer. Like, they throw all sorts of sugar in this anyway. If anyone from Marie Callender actually saw this and was like recoiling in horror from the idea of their macaroni and cheese being turned into a dessert. How do I have subtitles? Oh, there's all sorts of options for subtitles out there. There's even subtitles in Twitch's built-in things. OBS has built-in captions too. I'm not using those. I'm choosing a different option, but let's get a pan and parchment together here, along with an oven heating up to 350. I think I'm gonna go without. I'm debating adding some sesame on top. Let's give it a try baking it first, and then maybe add the sesame. I'll let you folks know that you should add the sesame or not. All right, while that reheats, let's go back to our cottage pie here. We've got zoom right, the stew going under here. But I don't think that's going to be enough mashed potato to cover the top of that. Do you think, chat? I don't think so. I think I need more potato. Where'd my music go? Music, where are you? There we go. Let's clean up the kugel bowl and use that for our potatoes. Ew, mashed potatoes that have been microwaved. So I'm going to add some potato flakes. Potato flakes. We got to keep a TV dinner right? On the stove, we're going to move the stew to the back burner here. Didn't want a light there for me. It was a 4-letterer. That was a rare one. No, but I do regularly use it for making breads and altering other things. I mean, it's just dehydrated potato. This still might be too little in the way of the potato, but we'll see. We're not making a massive 9 by 13 cottage pie or anything tonight. In fact, I'm sort of thinking this guy. That's cutting it close. This is oven safe, right? Of course, it says nothing at all. I'm going to assume it's oven safe because it's not plastic. Can you add some seasoning to our potatoes while we're at it here and not just leave them be plain and boring? Start with some salt there. Yeah, let's do a little more salt. while I am certain the potatoes that came in the TV dinners are salted, those potato flakes most certainly are not. Who was wondering if I knew was John? Someone? Here's another reason for eating like this. This may be one of the cheapest stream dinners I have done in quite a while. I mean, I walked out of the supermarket for less than 20 bucks. I've added an egg, some half and half, some butter, and some flour. Some potato flakes. It maybe rounded out the $20 with that. Actually, we'll turn that off. We'll just let that sit. And we're going to add our butter and cream in here with our instant. I think we're okay there. You got to consider, if you're looking at the texture there, half of that is still frozen, even with that warm half and half and butter that hasn't warmed up completely. I am sort of thinking that maybe still not enough though. Yep, I think we're going with more potato. We need more potato. I do have potatoes too, by the way. I'm just purely going with potato flakes because it's a TV dinner. I'm like, plus it's a wonderful use of these potato flakes so that they actually hopefully somewhat stay fresh for using. So we repeat the same process as before. Bit more half and half and butter in here. Oh, we can't do more butter, so just more half and half. We can't do any more butter because that was the last of my butter. And since there's already cellulose in tonight's dinner, let's add some more. Is there any question in anyone's mind what I just added to that bowl? I'm just curious. Okay, our new batch of half and half was up to a simmer. No, they're not bad. I mean, they're just dehydrated potato. They have a different texture. I don't exactly love them as mashed potatoes, but it is this exact same, like they're using dehy for making their mashed potatoes. So it's like the exact same. So is it something that I do purposely? No. I might do it to hide in or push something or maybe just increase something a little bit like I just did now. But I'd normally just go for potatoes. There is the speed contingent here. I mean, you saw how long that took me to make. Maybe, 3 minutes heating up the cream on the stove. Like making instant ramen sort of a thing. Versus potatoes, you need to boil them. So it's going to be, probably 40 minutes. Alright, I'm going to throw the kugel into the oven. And then we're going to make the rest of our dish here. So we're going to add all of our frozen veggies in with our stew to warm up. cutting board camera. Over on the cutting board. Most likely. Actually, yes, I will be. When is Easter this year? It's got to be close. Is it this week? Alright, there's the last of our potato. Going to throw this into the oven as well. Let that hang out for a bit with the kugel. And it's hang out with chat time. How are we tonight, chat? What's new? Happy Wednesday to you. In other news, I changed the settings on my alerts thingy for events happening in the world, you know, like a police scanner app. And it alerted me at 1:30 in the morning of what was going on in Baltimore. But all it said was some sort of boating issue or something like that. And so I just turned around and went to sleep. Irritated that it was bothering me in the middle of the night. But that was one of the few times the alert was like, yeah, I probably would have wanted to know about that. I should have looked at, you know. And actually it has been pretty good about not alerting me a ton lately. Yeah, Sonoma's a little bit... We got everything in this county. Between a major coastline, we have mountains, we have, I think, is it 2 state parks go through our county? Or, and the mountain range between us and Napa is like, I don't know if it's officially a mountain range. Like, there's some really big hills at the minimum. There is mountains in Sonoma. But there's some really, like, backwater, hard to get to, like, there's parts of this county that they still have air raid sirens for alarms for fires and stuff like that, because house fires and stuff like that are still volunteer groups or groups of people that only come together for major events. In this day and age with cell service, they're still using air raid horns. There's sparse parts of Northern California where, they still have the fire towers going on and people paid to live in the middle of nowhere just to look for fires. And if you look into wildfires, it's really crazy. Like, you hear about them every once in a while in the news, but generally they're only news when they're coming towards people. Like, there's always forest fires going on, and it's more, they're just preventing them from destroying any infrastructure. Because there'll be fires that start from lightning all the time. They just, like, there'll be acres from any civilization. They're like, man, just let it burn. And they're getting to management points where, like, everyone wants to say, prescribed burning is amazing. We should do prescribed burning to help, protect areas. And the reality is, when you do prescribed burns, everyone then complains about, well, why did you burn it's all burnt. Like half their park is burnt because the park itself is the buffer between them and wildfire danger. I don't know if I was coherent in that rant or not, but and after living out here for a little while, I understand the mentality behind when, I forget when it was. I was in the middle of nowhere driving. Like, I had stopped at a gas station that's one of those gas stations, like, no service for 50 miles sort of thing. And there's a couple of places in the US you can see that. And I stopped there, and there was a very obvious wildfire going on in the background. Like, it was visible distance from anywhere, but looked in the background, it was like maybe a mile away, sort of a thing. And asked a lady at the gas station, what's the deal with the wildfire here? Aren't you worried or concerned about it? It's been there a couple of days. Nowadays, for me, it's sort of like someone talks about a wildfire, and it's like, yeah, okay. Was it close to anything? Like, there's always one of the things that happens here, to give an example, in Sonoma County, we get mudslide alerts all the time, which for majority of the citizens of Sonoma County means nothing. You know, like anyone along the 101 corridor, or I think even in Sonoma City, Sonoma, the town of Sonoma proper, has any concern of mudslides. But the people in the mountains do. The people on the cliff sides of the beach sides do. Sort of a bummer. We sort of get that in between. It's not the best, but it's not horrible at the same time. Like Sonoma's coastline is, you know, it's not beach, and there are some very rocky parts where people, like abalone fishing is a thing around here, and people regularly die going abalone diving. But there's a decent amount of like coastline. You know, it's rocky coastline. It's worn down small rocks that, you know, you don't really want to walk on your feet, but it's a nice coastline. You can't get to it. The other thing is you can't get to it. Like, all the roads to it, you know, it's like a 30-minute drive from the 101 as the crow flies, but it's more like an hour and a half, 2 hours drive-wise. Even if you take River Road, it's probably an hour still on River Road, which is like the most direct route following the Russian River. I've sort of worn myself out on the cop chases lately. Every once in a while, a new one pops up and catch my interest, but I'm sure I'll revisit in 2 years or something, 5 years. You know, it seems to be one of those things you do. Long-term rotation. Yeah, there's also that too, that where there's a lot of stuff that you can see on the internet that I'm not going to say that it permanently scars you, but it just, why? I mean, I've been there as far as, you know, Rotten.com, and I don't even know if that's still a site anymore, but it used to be. And, you know, in high school we had Faces of Death VHSs going around, and I forget where I saw that, but I know I saw that in high school. No, that's just disgusting buns. I was talking more along the lines of death and things that just like I said, it's just not good. Why? You know? Yeah, VHS. Good old VHS. I say good old, I think... Nah, that couldn't have been right. They have to still be making VHS machines to some small degree. Ooh, forget, was it one of the ones with the like turn dial ones, like a toaster oven has? You know, where it's, you know, those clicking timer things like I subjected chat to the other night. I remember a couple of microwaves like that back in the day. I think there was one at my mom's workplace that was like that. I still have my first microwave. I've had that beast since college. I don't remember at one point. I mean, I certainly had one by the time I was in like junior high. I don't remember if we always had one when I was a kid or if it came in, what point it came into the household, whether it was there before me or not. Another 5 minutes here on our timer for my first check on things. Going to guess that the mashed potatoes and all that will be okay by that time, but we're going to give it a little bit longer. The kugel, I'm not sure will be ready in that time. May need another 10-15. Hi, Zeeks. Everything's in the oven. Our cottage pie is done in the oven. Our kugel is baking. I've taken 2 Hungry Man grilled beef patty dinners and turned them into a cottage pie with the addition of some extra instant mash. And then for dessert, I took a Marie Callender mac and cheese bowl and have turned that into a kugel, which is, a kugel is along the lines of a rice pudding or a bread pudding, just with pasta instead of rice or different type of starch. So it's going to be I added cream cheese, I added sugar, I added vanilla, and so it's going to be a variety of cheese flavors, and I'm just hopeful that the seasonings or whatever flavorings they added into their cheese are not too anti-dessert sweet. I was sitting there looking at I forget what brand it was, but I was sitting there looking at an orange chicken or a sweet and sour chicken. And basically the same thing, just different coloring. Looking at a sweet and sour chicken and was, how can I turn that into dessert? And the major hold up there was actually the chicken. Like, everything else would work fine in a dessert. The breading, the sauce, pending you don't like same thing with the mac and cheese here. Pending it doesn't have a ton of garlic in there, it's going to be perfectly fine. Ganache case. You mean the Boston cream pie or one of the other ones? I've done a couple of ganache cakes over the years. Well, it couldn't be a gradient then. That's the whole challenge. Like, I mean, I had Papa John's pizza as a challenge before. I didn't just eat pizza. I had frozen pizza as a challenge before too, and I didn't just eat pizza then either. Actually, when I had frozen pizza, I turned it into a pineapple pie. I used the frozen pizza as a crust for my pineapple pie. I just wish that the pineapple filling had held up and gelled a bit more than it did. It turned out too sloppy, but otherwise it was amazing. Sounds like a KFC bowl in the frozen section, Zeeks. It's our first timer here. Take a look at things here. Both of those are looking gorgeous. Both of those I'm going to give another 10 minutes to. The sausage and the bacon is certainly not KFC, but fried chicken bits with mashed potato and corn and gravy. Is it National Paella Day today? It is Spanish Paella Day. Tomorrow is Black Forest Cake Day. Who's making cake tomorrow? Friday is Lemon Chiffon Cake Day. It's like Cake Week. Yesterday was Nougat Day. Hey, it's National Tater Day on Sunday. Make sure and have some taters with your Easter dinner. It's also Clams on the Half Shell Day. I don't think that one's going to be celebrated by near as many people. That said, I have been sort of captivated by the videos. One of my buddies from college does clam diving, clam fishing. Goes out commercial fishing on a boat. And he's apparently gotten a couple of trips where he had cell service, and so he's been going live on Facebook. Which is really sort of strange, considering, like, I, like, check Facebook, like, once a month. I really do not. If you're watching, I don't trust Facebook at all. Like, the most recent news lately is they were hacking into Snapchat and stuff, too. Like, they are gonna sell your info any way that they can. I hope there's some morels still at the store that I saw the other day. I'm hopeful that I have morels for mushroom pierogies on Friday. Hopeful. Welcome in, Emon. We're waiting on things in the oven. You haven't missed out on the final show. We're still waiting on our kugel and our cottage pie to finish up. I wonder how much over the years Kraft has changed their Parmesan recipe. I'm certain that they've changed it over the years to make it more something to go onto pasta versus something that's more like a breading and more versatile. I mean, it's still cheese. I've done several chilies over the years. It's not real. It has wood in it. Like both the TV dinner that I'm using tonight and Kraft Parmesan have cellulose as a listed ingredient. You know, they quite are. You know, it's wood. And I like joking about that, but it's more them saying, you know, it's been drying on wood for 3 years, or I doubt they're aging anything for 3 years, but through contact, through the process, through, like, where is it? This thing. That used to be round. That used to be round. I think I ate the tip of this spoon. It's my favorite spoon, Minnesota. It works great. It's perfectly angled from my wrist to get a flat surface on the bottom of a pan because I have ground it flat like that. It's broken in properly. Ooh. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, happy wayfarers. We're turning TV dinners into an ingredient in tonight's dinner. So I have turned a mac and cheese dinner bowl into a sweet cheese kugel that's currently in the oven baking up. We're got the last couple of minutes here. And I've also turned 2 Hungry Man grilled beef patty dinners into a cottage pie. So you're just here in time for me to pull all of this out of the oven here. We got to be close here. Another minute and a half. What were we up to tonight? What were we making tonight, Happy Wayfarer? Happy to see you, Cream Delish. Flour Bites, happy to see you. Ginger Tea, welcome in. I went with Hungry Man. Well, I'll be honest. I sat there in the aisle, like I talked about it earlier. I sat there in the aisle for an exorbitant amount of time, studying everything, trying to figure out what I could use and what I could turn it into in my head. But Hungry Man is like the oldest classic one still available. Like Swanson is the original. Hungry Man is their first offshoot. And so it's sort of like the second TV dinner brand. I'm sure some other company is going to claim that, but you get what I mean. And while Swanson's still around, it's mostly just like its bits and parts and the legal name owned places. Like primarily it's just a broth company now owned by Campbell's. That kugel needs a little more time. And I'm going to leave the other one in there. I'm going to give it another 10 minutes. Because that kugel looked like it was rising. It looked like the center hadn't fully risen yet. And we have a breakage in the crust of our cottage pie. And roughly half of it has been submerged in gravy. So we're going to bake that and dry that out a little bit on the top of our taters. The gravy may save it, the instant mash, and may actually make it look somewhat appetizing. Come on, Windows. Don't lock up on me. No, you're supposed to be on that. That didn't change audio at all for you, did it, Jet? Things didn't just get louder for you, did it? No one hydrated me tonight. Trying to drive me out too? Thank you. New water filter, just in time to move out. Excuse me. I use my Brita mostly because my water likes to clog everything up. I still am a little bit worried about what all is in my water, but you have to consider that before Sonoma was grape territory, it was apple territory, and they loved spraying DDT on both. So that's in our water table here, you know. I'm sure they've got some amazing, wonderful filtration system that, you know, is somehow taking that out of it. But I'm sure we have the presidential mandate to get rid of lead now. I'm sure that had nothing to do with Flint, Michigan. Forgetting the brand, this is a major brand. It's a pretty major brand t-shirt. It's nothing special. Well, throughout the U.S. Like, most of the old pipes in the U.S. are lead pipes. And so, it's not really a problem in most cases, because they've built up an exterior resistance. The water is corroded or coated in junk, the pipe, so there's no, like, direct contact of the lead with the water in the vast majority of cases. Problem is, when you have a situation like happened in Flint a couple of years ago, you had them change water sources to something that was more acidic or something along that line from the way it used to be, and it reintroduced that contact of lead into their water system. And in a lot of cases, it's just actually a little bit more of an advanced version of avoiding that. Like, in many cases, I think what they're doing is essentially just relining the pipes. Like, they put essentially a liner inside, and it still remains being on the outside of the pipe, being lead, but it's got like a polymer or plastic or something interior. Yeah, New York's got some great bagel water. I lived in New York State for a while. I went to college there. I didn't mind upstate New York. Though I imagine it's like... I have no idea where to... If I wanted to move somewhere, I have no idea where I would want... Like... It is so busy here now from when I moved out here. And I imagine just about everywhere else I can think of, there's places that I want to go were like so much busier than they used to be. Like, I think we're finally getting over our COVID lull here as far as the wine tourists. And May is really the beginning of wine tourism. You get the barrel tastings, the people coming out here. Sort of like farms will do farm shares. You know, you pay money ahead of time and you get this percentage of what we grow. They'll do the same thing with barrels, where people will buy barrels at the beginning of their aging. And that happens May through early summer. And then you have the actual wine tasting crowds, which is more late summer, when the grapes are actually being harvested. And just the other day, driving around town, I was looking, it was a nice day, and just the number of people out already, I was just like, yeah, this summer is gonna be bad. You gotta consider Sonoma also is all like, other than like the major city, inner city parts to it, like other than downtown Petaluma or downtown Santa Rosa, it's basically all like one-lane roads, one-lane highways. And so they're getting all clogged up. It's not like any sort of city infrastructure where it's mildly able to handle the boost and track. No. Everything just gets gridlocked out here. I'm in Northern California. I'm in Sonoma County, California. Okay, oven's off now. We're pulling these out this time. Here's our kugel. Kugel, not Google. K, not G. And our cottage pie. A lot of white on that screen right now. Some nice light browning here. This is feeling nice and light and fluffy. This is still lightly bubbling. Obviously the gravy made its way above the mashed potatoes a bit, but we got a little browning on the potatoes on the edge there. Looking delicious to me. I'm gonna give that another minute to cool down before I break into either one of these. I remember you training in... I went to Culinary Institute of America in upstate New York, in Hyde Park. I was there for about 3 years of my life. We're gonna take the pan out of this equation. That's smelling good. Like, I have hopes for that. It's reminded me almost a smell of like a vanilla wafer. How would you compare New York to Cali? Not too different, to be real. Like, but I have very different life experiences in them. Like, I had a business here in California, and I had experiences with the government and other locals and stuff like that that I in no way had in New York. My experience, actually, I would say even though I spent time living in New York, I spent most of it at college with people from around the world. So, I mean, I went into the city a couple of times while I was there, but I didn't wasn't like a regular thing. There was one girl that had money. Just had money. And she had an apartment down in the city, and so she would be like up at school during the week and then partying down in the city during the weekends. Alright, let's take a photo of our dinner tonight, even though they're all sort of white. And a lot of the things that I loved about when I was in New York are not there anymore. So it's sort of like the things that I loved about New York isn't really a thing anymore. The stores and shops, and I mean, everything changes. Nothing barely survives 20 years. I've talked about that before when it comes to starting a food business. Like, one of my problems with wanting to start another food business is that a vast majority of those businesses, the concept, the design, you're paying your infrastructure off over 20, 50 years. And what survives 20 years? San Francisco, I mean, they're the real estate or retail and real estate situation in San Francisco is just nuts. Well, I could equally say that the best parts of food cuisine the French stole ages ago. Some of them they stole from the Italians. Some of them Italians have stolen back. And most everything that's Louisianian, they stole from the French. So that's nice and custardy, fluffy, soft. That's delicious. The only thing off of that from being normal is the pasta itself. Yeah, that's the thing about any major city, though. M197. It's just San Francisco gets the website dedicated to someone's tracking it. All right, let's see what we got here. Just going to take a bite or two. That was both amazing and depressing all in one bite. Okay, I'm digging the stew. Maybe not so much the green beans, but I've never been a huge green bean and stew fan. Potatoes, the texture isn't that bad, but the flavor, there's something about the flavor. I don't know, maybe it's the probably artificial butter / cheap oil in the TV dinner mashed potatoes clashing with my delicious butter. The green beans just have, like, it's the texture, I think. They just have too much skin. Like, I've talked before about, I don't like tomato sauces made with, like, cherry tomatoes or small little tomatoes, because the skin to sauce ratio is off. I don't like the green, the snap, the green skin in the stew. Otherwise, that is delicious. Like I said, there's a little bit something going on there with the mashed potatoes. I think it's just the clash of different oils, fats, flavors, whatever. But yeah, that's delicious. So we're going to call that tonight's dinner done. Let's grab a photo of that for the Discord. Thank you for the follow. Going to be back here on Friday. We're going to be starting pierogi and Polish Foods Week. Going to be doing 2 types of pierogi over the next 3 streams and Polish tacos. Hopeful to find some morels. Otherwise, we're going to be doing some other form of mushroom mix for our pierogies on Friday. As always, photos of everything from tonight, as well as my thoughts on dinner and all that sort of stuff, will be up in the Discord. Feel free to ask me questions there. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me. I enjoyed hanging out with all of you. I hope you all have an amazing evening. Good night.